What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to do a playtest on one of the brand new champions that's going to be included in the next update along with the Wixwell fusion. So in this video, we're going to go over that champion's kit. We're going to talk about where we're going to use that champion, and we're going to playtest him in some content and see if he lives up to what I think is deserved hype. So let's jump into it. Alright guys, so we're going to hop in here and it's going to be a Sylvan Watcher, and his name is going to be Glaicad of the Meltwater. Look at this guy, Glaicad of the Meltwater. So he's Force Affinity, he's going to be a support champion. He comes in at 21.5k HP, just under 1400 defense, 112 base speed, super nice with a bit of resistance to boot. What is this guy all about? He's got an A1 double hit, 50% chance to freeze. If the target is 50% or less, this debuff cannot be resisted. So when you think about this, it really feels like it's like a Sylphy-esque move, to be honest. It's a double hit, freeze, but Sylphy's asleep, right? So freeze and sleep are kind of similar-ish. When you freeze a enemy, that enemy that is frozen actually receives less damage. However, obviously with sleep you can be kind of woken up by accident, for example, from your own ally hit. But when you're frozen, you can't be woken up, so you're going to lose that turn right away. So in this case, you get the irresistible freeze when the target is 50% or less HP, whereas Sylphy, for example, has a turn meter condition. So obviously this is a little bit harder to fulfill because the enemy needs to be 50% HP or less. But I would argue that the buff might be stronger because it can't be interrupted like sleep. But anyways, the A1 also makes it useful for things like Fire Knight. But yeah, very strong A1. A2, we got a 4-turn cooldown, 100% chance, fully booked. It first places the 50% increase attack on your whole team. Then it has a 100% chance, has to have books, to place Perfect Veil on your whole team except this champion. And then there's also a 15% turn meter fill. Alright, so there is a lot going on in this kit. Increase attack, Perfect Veil, turn meter fill, 4-turn cooldown. Reminds me exactly like Duchess's Perfect Veil increase attack ability. This one has a turn meter fill in it, so it's different. It's better than Duchess's, but Duchess also is including the block debuffs. So Duchess has a block debuffs instead of a turn meter fill. Both of the moves are very similar in terms of duration. They're both 4-turn cooldowns, but you're basically trading block debuffs for turn meter fill. It's very interesting and different, but I could see the turn meter fill being very good as well on Meltwater. That's okay, that's just the A2. Here comes the A3 where the similarities continue. 7-turn cooldown, 4 turns when fully booked. You have life stream, revive all dead allies with 40% HP and 25% turn meter. So on first read of this sentence, it's actually not a very strong revive. 40% HP and a quarter turn meter is not actually that awesome. There's definitely like better like epic level revivers with more HP and more turn meters to be honest, but there's more to this revive than just that. It also places increased accuracy, increased defense on all allies for 3 turns, so it's a 3-turn buff, and then these buffs will be placed even if allies are not revived. So it is a usable ability on a 4-turn cooldown for increased accuracy, increased defense without using the revive. And then it says, if no allies are revived by this skill, grant this champion an extra turn, basically making this a 3-turn cooldown with those buffs. And then you can go right into the turn meter fill, of course. Very strong, flexible revive ability. I think it's really good. You can use it as a reviver, you can use it as a buffer. Very good. I like the turn meter fill, increase attack, Perfect Veil. And get this passive, guys. Allies under Perfect Veil placed by this champion deal 10% more damage. Love it. Allies under a Perfect Veil buff placed by this champion also deal additional 10% damage to enemies under Veil or Perfect Veil buffs. So the first condition is actually very nice, extra 10% damage that makes him super more viable in things like Hydra, for example. He's also another champion that has Perfect Veil, which will help in Hydra against the Head of Torment, for example. He's not the defensive carry that Duchess is, where Duchess has the AoE protection reduction. He has the damage boost, however, from the Perfect Veil buff. But this passive, I think, is not as good as Duchess, because Duchess's ability works regardless. And this ability does require a Perfect Veil placed by himself only. So in that regards, Duchess is a little bit better. Get this, guys, he has speed in all battles, same speed aura as Duchess as well. And I did go over his base stats. His base stats are also ridiculously similar to Duchess's base stats. He's a bit faster on his base speed, but they're very, very similar. This guy is basically Duchess 2.0, and I think it's debatable whether he's better or worse. He's definitely more offensive with his passive. He's more offensive because he also takes more, he wants to take more turns with the turn meter. And then he can be more offensive with his revive as well, basically empowering your team with the accuracy and increased defense as well. So overall, I think he's a more offensive version of the Duchess. Let's see how he performs in general content. All right, so I got him in a standard seer team with some poisoners against the hard dragon. Let's see how he does here in terms of what he's capable of. Let's have a quick look here. So let's go with the increased attack, Perfect Veil, and then turn meter boost. That's kind of nice. All right, pretty nice here. Decrease defense, then seer. All right, so I mean, he's obviously going to be very good in these kind of teams where you can empower seer. He brings lots of buffs. Let's check out his A3 here. So he's not using it to revive anyone, so he will get an extra turn. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Look at that, three turn duration, even 4 turn on himself. And then yeah, we get an extra turn here, 3 turn cooldown, 2 turn cooldown. And then let's try his A1. Now let's see what happens. Double hit freeze, boom, frozen. Reset. And new. All right, so we move on to the dragon. And then I guess at this point, it's kind of not really too relevant what we do. Yeah, he's just part of the engine right now that's gonna kill the dragon, so probably doesn't need to be seen. There's his revive. He brings a lot of buffs, tons of buffs. Anyways, this team wasn't made to be able to beat the dragon. Just Duchess is not enough. We just wanted to show Meltwater's abilities there in this dungeon. And obviously, Glaicad's A1 with the double freeze does have some viability for Fire Knight Hard. So definitely can help you guys progress in that area. Although it's only 50% chance to freeze, so it's not like the most consistent freeze ability for Fire Knight, but definitely can help in a supporting role. After that, the obvious content that he's going to be extremely good in would be Hydra. So I have him put in, let's try this team on hard. So I have him here in this hard team. So basically he's providing increased attack, increased defense, and I've basically put a bunch of attack and defense based damage dealers in this team. He also offers some protection against the Head of Torment, so some fear protection there. He brings a revive. He brings turn meter boost. The big thing about him that is similar to why Duchess is not like super good in Hydra. She's obviously very good, but not like end game like top team good. Is that he doesn't bring increased speed or decreased speed, which is probably something that he probably should have. Maybe increased speed would be nice in his kit, similar to how Sifi has increased speed. But he does bring a turn meter buff. It's not like a huge one. It's an average size one, only 15%, but it is a turn meter buff boost. So he does help the team get some extra turns that way. So let's see how he does in this team. I think it's pretty set up for him to do well. And keep in mind, they're all going to do tons of extra damage from the Perfect Veil covering them. The Perfect Veil passive is that he has, so extra 10% damage there. So we're just going to let go full auto here and just see how he makes out. Keep in mind that his A1 freeze ability does require accuracy if you want him for that role. Otherwise, he doesn't need accuracy at all. Personally, I don't think you need it. And if you ever use it, I would probably go for the irresistible version, which is the sub 50% HP. Then you don't need accuracy at all. So that's probably how you would build him with no accuracy. But yeah, you would need accuracy if you want to do Fire Knight hard with him, for example. But here he's going to be supplying a bunch of buffs, increased defense, increased attack. It's very, very nice against with teams that have both defense-based and attack-based damage dealers. Obviously, increased defense just makes your team a little bit more tanky as well. That's going to be very nice. Yeah, and it's just a very versatile champion. He brings obviously increased accuracy, which is really nice, and obviously a team revive, which is really, really good. So yeah, also brings some fear protection here. I think he's very, very solid here. The increased damage from his passive is actually going to be really nice as well. Obviously, we know how strong like a 9-piece protection set is. So having his passive just provide some extra damage is going to be very, very nice. He's not going to bring as much team protection as like Duchess, because Duchess has the AoE damage reduction, but he brings additional damage this way. Also, block debuffs isn't completely necessary against Hydra. Sometimes it's a little bit of a liability because it can be stolen, and then it can make the heads a little bit harder to deal with. So it's not a huge negative for him to not have it. Obviously, it's one of the best buffs, but against Hydra, it's not 100% needed. You could bring a cleanser, for example. That might be good as well. But in this role, he's definitely doing a lot. The increased attack, defense, accuracy up, turn meter boosting. Obviously, a backup revive, very, very good. He brings the speed aura as well. Great base stats. He's working out pretty good here just to support the team. And, all our damage dealers are getting tons and tons of additional boosts from him. So, looks pretty good. I think he's going to shine here in Hydra as well. I think a bit more than Duchess, to be honest. So, I think he's going to be really, really good here. But I'm going to cut this run off here. I think it's going to be a good run too. I'm going to cut it off here. Let's see what damage numbers we're putting up here. Mishinaki, not surprising. But Wukong and Mashal, look at that. Mashal leading the way there. There we go. Meltwater not doing anything, of course. But yeah, he's going to be a stud in Hydra. I think he's going to be really, really nice. Maybe not like the top tier, like with like Furo and like 9-piece protection Furos or 9-piece protection old man Podrig teams, but he's going to be pretty solid just for helping you get through some Hydra content for sure. And then lastly, let's check him out in the arena. That's going to be where his kit is also going to be pretty decent as well. So we'll jump into some fights here. All right, so I'm going to put him in this team here. Obviously, I want to utilize his increased attack, increased defense, increased accuracy. All very, very nice stuff here against this team, against the original Duchess. Let's see if Duchess 2.0 is going to be better. Let's see here. We're going second here. I'm going to pop some sheeps. Just control the team here. Right. And then we will do the boost and veil. To get the reset. There we go. Put him in stone skin. Go increase accuracy. So we got increased accuracy. increased defense. So now Harima has the increased defense on her. I can't land the freeze because my accuracy is really low on this build, and they're both above 50%. So you see the resist there. Oh, we got lucky with one freeze. Armon's going to keep us in the fight here. Force Affinity is really nice against Rotos, obviously. Increased defense, Harima's going to smack. Oh no! Alright. Takes another pot shot there. And we got the freeze off. Alright, that's it. Alright, let's put him up. Let's put him up against another fight here. Let's see. I mean, let's try this one. Same team here. Obviously, we have a pretty big advantage here with the Harima versus the two demons here. Okay, so Veo. So now they got the damage boost, of course. Oof, our man's dead. And team revive. Oh no! Getting the freeze off. Freeze coming down with barely any accuracy actually. Oh, so, oh, the freeze, irresistible freeze, guys. Did you see that? That's pretty nice actually. I like it. Irresistible freeze, guys. It's actually pretty nice. Irresistible freeze. Oof. Might lose here actually. Team revive. Turn meter boost. No freeze. Okay, let's get him down. Get the freeze on. Oh no! Irresistible freeze. Nice. Honestly, the irresistible freeze is very, very nice here. Oh, but the weak hits still happen though. Oh no! Got me this time. Yeah, we had a pretty big advantage, but I feel like we've kind of butchered this fight a little bit. But just to show that Glaicad's A1 irresistible freeze is actually pretty viable there, considering that some of the minions went down in health. And then the obviously under 50% irresistible freeze, pretty solid actually. Looked pretty good in that fight. Oh, what do you know? I was missing some gear on the Armans here. Anyways, it's all good. He's still functional, and even missing a piece of gear there. But anyways, let's showcase the build that I have Glaicad in here. So this is my build for Glaicad. He's in 6-piece stone skin. I think he's gonna need at least, most revivers nowadays gonna be at least 1 turn stone skin. So if you guys can swing 1 turn stone skin, probably try to do that. The extra stone skin on him is really, really nice, because if you guys noticed, if he's the first champion on your team to get a turn, he's going to veil your whole team, and then he's going to be protected by stone skin, and your enemy will just be targeting him and trying to kill him through the stone skin, which would be very, very difficult. So that's why having stone skin on him for 2 turns is very, very nice, because his first turn will be used up to veil the whole team. So it works out very well, synergizes very well with his availability. Yeah, so this is my build. I got him in 6-piece stone skin. I mean, if you can get him in bolster set. Bolster set would work too. He has great base HP. You could get him in on regen or relentless for like PvE would work out pretty okay. But for PvP, you're probably looking for stone skin or bolster, most likely. Probably six piece stone skin would make the most sense. You could also go for protection, 9-piece protection, because he does place a ton of buffs. He places 4 buffs. So if you have a 9-piece protection set on this guy, he's going to give you a ton of extra damage in your Hydra teams. Yeah, so just a really, really good candidate there. Just going to be solid for Hydra. And he's going to be pretty decent for Arena as well. Like I said, very good base stats overall. Very similar to Duchess. He has very high base speed here. Here's my total stats, just if you guys are curious. Just under 300 speed, 110 HP, 3.4k defense. No resistance, no accuracy. Of course, like I said, he does require accuracy to place his freeze, but it is irresistible if the target is under 50% HP, which we saw activated a couple times, which is really, really nice actually. So personally, I wouldn't build him with any accuracy and just take advantage of his irresistible freeze, unless you really need him in Fire Knight hard, for example, and then you need his freeze. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother building him in accuracy and just focus on HP and speed for sure. After that, fully booked, he gets good value from his books. Obviously, he needs it here for his perfect veil. Cooldown reduction. This one, I mean, not super important. This one, he literally could have no books in. If you can save books, avoid books in here, that'd be the best. But this one definitely needs books. 3-turn cooldown off of books. Yeah, blessing here would be, aura is great. In terms of blessing, you're probably looking at something like, you could go for Ward of Fallen for some additional protection. You could go for, obviously if you have a 6-star, you're probably going Sheep for PvP. You could probably go in for Life Harvest for PvP. For PvE, you're probably going for something along the lines of Intimidating Presence for some additional speed on the aura. I mean, you could even try Faultless Defense because he does place increased defense, and then having this reflect a portion back to the attacker could work against the hard Fire Knight as well. So you can have that option as well to try him out in. Otherwise, I mean, you could even try him an emergency heal with a blood shield accessory. This would give him a little bit of healing back, which is really good because he actually doesn't have any healing available in his kit, so he does need a little bit of sustain. So probably emergency heal with the blood shield accessory might actually make sense. And here are the masteries I went with, kind of standard reviver masteries. So obviously T6, timely intervention, gives him a chance to bring the team back when a teammate loses significant health. You want improved parry to reduce 8% damage from crits. So this is a good arena mastery. Increase healing or shields when he gets healing or shields, I guess. And then obviously Shadow Heal is very good. You can heal when your opponent heals back. I gave him a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of accuracy. You could definitely go down just HP. I gave him a little bit of chance to get some turn meter. Gave him Psycho Magic, so he gets extra chance at his, obviously, A2 or A3. Lasting Gifts is pretty nice because it increases the duration of his 4 buffs, or chance to. He has 4 buffs, so lots and lots of value there. You want Spirit Haste, of course, for your revivers, because once everybody dies, you want your guy to be super fast, and then you have a chance to revive back. So, yeah. So that's my build for Glaicad, the Meltwater. Personally, I think he's going to be very, very good. Certainly worthy of being in the conversation of Duchess, similar to how Pythion was in that same conversation with Duchess, but I think Glaicad of the Meltwater is even better or closer to Duchess, so I think he is better than Pythion. I'm still undecided whether he's actually better than Duchess, but I think if I had Glaicad of the Meltwater, I would use him over Duchess in a Hydra team for sure. At least for my account, I would use him over Duchess for sure. With that being said, for Arena, because Duchess is such a good strong support with a passive that doesn't require a turn, I think Duchess is probably slightly better in Arena, but definitely not as good in Hydra. And a little selfish wish for myself, I kind of wish that this guy would be a guarantee in the future. Honestly, he might be. He might be a guarantee. I'm going to throw that out there. He might be a guarantee. Maybe for Hero's Path or something, Titan event, something like that. I mean, he's kind of, he would definitely be worthwhile getting. Definitely a top tier non-void legendary for sure. Gonna help anybody that gets him in any kind of content. And I'm pretty sure even endgame guys, they're probably thinking like, how can I squeeze more damage out of this guy because of his super cool passive, right? And obviously 4 buffs is just screaming for a 9-piece protection. I don't have a 9-piece protection for Sylvan Watchers, but that's exactly what I would do for a Hydra. But yeah, this guy, I think there's some potential here. I really like him. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thanks for watching as always. Hopefully you guys enjoy this quick showcase of Glaicad the Meltwater. Anyways guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.